And this is from Anthony, 34, from Watford.
What's happening? How's your week going? How's your podcast going? Quick question. When you boxed Jean Pascal for your first world title in Nottingham, actually, Tyson Fury actually made his pro debut on that card. You fought for a vacant title, right? So you didn't beat a champion. What do you feel about that? Do you feel that you was regarded a champion because you fought for a vacant one? So the title not being there, it would have just been a normal fight, but they threw a title in the air and you became champion. You didn't beat a champion to become champion, if you get what I mean. Do you feel that that win, not irrelevant, but it's not highly regarded the same as if you was to have gone and beat a world champion? How do you feel about that fight with Jean Pascal?
Right, how do I feel about the fight with Jean Pascal? I recognise that voice is familiar. It's a familiar voice, that is very, very familiar. Anthony.
Hey, it's been sent in.
It's sent in, that's right. So how do I feel about the WBC title? Right, good question, really. Because actually, when I beat Jean Pascal for the WBC World Super Middleweight Champion in December 2008, and he rightly pointed out that Tyson Fury was on the undercard. It's made his debut. I don't know what that had to do with anything. But the green and gold belt, the best belt in the business as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, fought Pascal. Right, listen. Joe Calzaghe was champion. He was champion for a long time. And I was mandatory for that WBC world title. And Calzaghe made me wait until the final hour, the final day he vacated. Because he didn't want to fight me. Regardless of what Bricktop will tell you, that Froch didn't want to fight Calzaghe. Apparently he looked into my eyes. Look into the eyes, go to sleep. He's like a clairvoyant now. He can read your mind. He says, I didn't want to fight Calzaghe. Listen, I was mandatory for the WBC title. I wanted to become world champion. I'd fight any man. Everyone knows that about me. So to say I didn't want to fight Calzaghe for me is bullshit. But we have to go with it. And I'm going to leave that one, but I fought for the WBC World title. It was vacant. I fought Jean Pascal, unbeaten Canadian, young, hungry lion like myself. Two undefeated, thirsty fighters wanting to become world champion. That was a 12-round war, a Hall of Fame type war. Look, Pascal went on to achieve unbelievable things. He stepped up to light heavyweight and became a unified light heavyweight champion. He beat Adrian Diacono, I believe. He also beat Bad Chad Dawson, the man that beat the man. He unified the belts of light heavyweight after I beat him, and that's how you cement your legacy. And did I feel like a world champion after? Well, I had the green and the gold belt. So when I woke up and saw the belt at the bottom of the bed in the morning, yes, I did feel like a world champion. But I know what he means. I didn't beat the champion to become champion.
There is Anthony Joshua crashing the party on Froch on Fighting with a very good question. Did you feel like a champion when you beat a fighter that wasn't a champion for the vacant belt? And the reason why AJ is asking this question, okay, is because Froch made a comment about, you know, the belt, it's a paper champion belt. Why would you fight for a belt that's not even considered, you know, a real championship title simply because of how it was given to Daniel Dubois? Okay, and you guys heard and know what I felt about Daniel Dubois and that whole IBF situation, okay? And Anthony asked that question because Carl Froch was in the same situation. He fought Jean Pascal, and they had a very good fight, okay? Very good fight, drug out fight, you know, classic fight for that belt. You know, and I think that was a good question to ask Carl, because Carl really didn't have a rebuttal. He said, yeah, I still felt like a champion based on what Jean Pascal has done in his career. But at that time, you know, you're looking at it in hindsight. You know, he asked you, what did you feel about that at the time? Versus, you know, hey, yeah, I don't think AJ versus fighting Daniel Dubois deserves the IBF title because it was given. You know, and I think the lesson to be learned in this, you know, Carl has done what he's done in the sport, Hall of Fame fighter and all that above. You know, he should be mindful of the things that he's done in his career that may parallel or, you know, by comparison to what AJ's doing. Okay. And then I think that's the main thing. I think, you know, that's why AJ passively called in like, hey, you know, no cap. He was just like, wait, did you feel like a champion? you know, because at this point, you're ridiculing me and my career that I'm actively fighting. And you don't understand that, you know, I'm doing the same thing that you did while you was fighting Jean Pascal for a title. I will be fighting Daniel Dubois. And see, here's the thing. My thing is this. Rules are rules. Rules are rules. As you heard Carl Froch state, you know, with this Joe Calzaghe situation with the mandatory, this, that, and the other. But still, you know, nobody wants to wait around for something, so he wanted to have a title, so he fought for a vacant one. You know, in AJ's case, you know, that title becomes vacant. He's going to fight for it. You know what I'm saying? And who he's fighting, you know, either it was Philip Hrgovic or Daniel Dubois. Pick one, because, you know, Daniel Dubois stopped Philip Hrgovic, therefore he's fighting Daniel Dubois. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like too big of an issue at this point. And I think at this point, you know, Joshua, you know, coming at Carl Froch, I think he's using a little bit more finesse than fire. But you guys tell me what you think of Anthony Joshua secretly crashing Froch on Fighting with Carl Froch and company. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.